Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I want to talk about wowing with wallpaper. Yes, as we know, for anybody that's heavy into knowing what's going on in the design world, wallpaper has come back with a vengeance for the last, I'd have to say, coming on strong for the last 4 or 5 years. And I think because our spaces are our brand ambassadors, a lot of times we want to do maybe a weekend update, that kind of thing, or add something fresh in a specific area of our house. And I think wallpaper is an excellent way to do that. The thing is that I want to really concentrate on here in this video is making an impact in areas that you wouldn't think are so cliche. Yes, of course, you can do the standard 4 walls. That's very tried and traditional. But today I want to introduce you maybe possibly to the first time or reinforce the importance of doing it in areas that you just didn't think of applying it to. So as we know, style it comes in cycles. And what most people do when they're going to do something like an update, they depend on styles that have been around and have been tried and true, tested for a while. And that's really not such a great thing to do, because you want to start to touch on things that are coming into the marketplace, a little bit more fresher, being open to that. That way it doesn't decrease the timestamp that is on your space. And one of the ways you can do that is by asking someone in the design industry to come by your space and give you a quick consultation, to give you some updates or suggestions, I should say, on ways to level up your space. And just so, in case you don't know, we of course offer that for free here. All you have to do is drop us an email with a pic and we'll get back to you with any insight that you are needing on a specific project, all for free. But getting back to suggestions on how to work with your wallpaper, not only will I discuss a couple of aspects of different types of applications, but if you're even working on other areas, just remember that whatever tile selections, paint suggestions you are doing for the walls, a lot of that will have a timestamp. So there really is no such thing as being timeless. I have said many times before in my videos that you're trying to get at least 10 to 15 years out of your space in general. And if you get even 10, that is doing very good. So myself, I get a little bored, and sometimes after the 5-year cycle, I start changing out, but I need to stretch that out myself these days. So what I really want to enforce here is not to always be so particular about it being in its classic position of the 4 walls. What I would really like to entertain here is doing wallpaper applications in areas that maybe wasn't your first thought. Yes, I love a surprise element in a room, and there's nothing more fabulous than doing wallpaper on the ceiling. Yes, I said it, the ceiling. I love that application. I love when the room has got a painted walls and trims and doors, all the same color, and then you do your wow factor on the ceiling with the wallpaper. Now, just remember too that wallpaper is not the way it used to be way back when. These are vinyls. These are highly, protective vinyl coatings that are applied to the wallpaper. So they're very easy to remove. It's nothing like how it was back in the day. In fact, I believe it's only English wallpapers that are still in the paper standpoint, but most of them have gone into a vinyl aspect. So application and removal is nothing how it used to be back in the day. So getting back to great ways to make a fabulous wallpaper statement. Number 1 favorite, absolutely the ceiling. After that, my next favorite is within trim molding. So some people can call it picture frame molding. I call it trim molding. Basically what you're doing is you're taking the room and you're placing the wallpaper within that particular, let's just call it box. And what I love so much about that particular application is, let's say you do get bored of that paper. It's very easy to update it by just removing it from that specific spot and reapplying it once again in that square. But let's say now you don't want wallpaper. Well, very easily done. Just remove the wallpaper, give it a good sand, and repaint the area. And once again, now you are updated for that look and feel without a lot of work put involved in this situation. So once again, don't let wallpaper, scare you. It is not the way it used to be. It is not hours of drudgery trying to remove it from the wall anymore. It is truly about making a statement and making it a modern statement. That's the most important part that you want to do whenever you're creating something with wallpaper. Make it look fresh and modern. So let's go over them again. So favorite is the ceiling. Next are inside wall panels. My next favorite is in surprise areas, or areas that maybe you wouldn't have thought to do a wallpaper treatment. And that is running underneath stairs, right underneath the balustrades. So in other words, that little, it almost looks like a triangle that goes up the stairway. That's a great way to make a wallpaper statement. A small statement, but an impactful statement. Closets. Put it inside closets, walls, and ceilings, especially in these smaller rooms. And that now brings me to powder rooms. Absolutely, by all means, apply it in powder rooms. There is nothing like that great ta-da when you open up the door and you have all the walls and the ceiling done in wallpaper in a little powder room. It's just such a great impact to make in a small space. As you may know, I not so much love accent walls behind beds. I feel that look has really played itself out and it's really become quite tired now. I never really loved the pop of color behind a wall of a bed. I feel that, as I said, is kind of like an old statement now. But modern ways to apply wallpaper. And also too, for those who are renting, don't forget to work with your removable wallpapers. So if you're really into this wallpaper trend and you want to apply it and you're in a rental unit and you really want to kind of do something fun over a weekend, absolutely send out for some great removable wallpaper. There's so many avenues and different sites that offer this. And one of my number one favorites is probably either Spoonflower or Etsy. For great removable wallpapers. Now, I also wanted to make sure I shared this before I close out this session, and that is that because I tend to go a little more frugal on pricing and things like that, my favorite book or my favorite collection for wallpapers to look at is I always really kind of start with Seabrook's. I might get inspired by some of the higher end line pieces, review through the books, take a look, see what they have. But I always try to see what York and Seabrook has because they just have great pricing. And a lot of times they knock off what the higher end papers are doing. So make sure you check out Seabrook and York on the next time that you are reviewing wallpaper for your space. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon.